What's happening? Uh, do you remember in the book of Daniel when there's a part when Daniel's been praying and fasting for 21 days straight, and finally this angel, I think it's Michael, and he comes up and he says, "I would have been here sooner. I heard you when you first started, but the Prince of Persia withheld me." You know, and that's what you call an archon, which is it's a chief ruler spirit principality. Once again in Jubilee and in Enoch, really talks about the Watchers and then their children and their spirits, how they became the gods, and all these. And you look at the Pragathis and the sacred geometry and how the 5 point star is all about working demons. The whole Star of David is the star seal of Solomon. It's all for working demons. Uh, so how does these principalities hold people, hold up the heavenlies from working in our lives? I mean, I've been seeing this recently. It happens like, all right, you ever been sitting there and listen, you go to open your Bible and you read a chapter and you're like, ugh, you just lose interest and you lose your attention and you set the book down. That was the demons or the spirits. Sometimes they operate through you and they attack your infirmities, your lack of enthusiasm, your fear, your doubt, your energy levels. They can vamp your energy so you just don't have the capacity to pursue that, like to hold on and fast for 21 days straight dedication when you ain't even getting no feedback from God. But then finally this angel comes and says, I left a long time ago, but look, there's been forces working against me coming. So if they're coming against the angel, are they not coming against the man praying as well? But you have to hold fast through that. It's just like when Jesus went out in the wilderness for 40 days to be tempted of Satan. It says specifically Jesus went out to be tempted. You know what I'm saying? That was part of his 40-day, 40-night fasting. So I guess when we fast, you know what I'm saying? The spirits actively, they realize it's almost like there's a veil on their dimension. When you start to fire up and your light starts shining, they can see you. So they hone in. They're like, why is this guy breaking through? He's about to break through. Withhold him. If they can't stop you, they'll go into the heavenlies and they'll try to stop the powers that are working on your behalf in obedience with the will of the Father. Uh, so how did these things happen? It's like, listen, it's when lately, listen, the peace of God has to some extent been falling on me. It's like, uh, that's the good thing about, listen, the other day when I had that experience where I thought I got shot with a electromagnetic weapon. Can't prove that now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still, it's still there in my mind. The only good thing about that is that when I thought I was gonna die again, just like when I prayed when I was a kid and prayed away the tornado, and then I had another situation where I prayed some things and there was results. I had another thing I prayed something, there's results. So a lot of these times are like is in life and death situations, and then it's like God has to, he's gonna move right then. If not, on these other times when you don't really need him to operate. You know what I'm saying? It's like but when you need him, he will. And it's just so you can't never say, "Hey, where were you, God?" when you at judgment day. You know what I'm saying? Basically, that's why I see why God does that. Even though a sinful man can pray earnestly and honestly and sincerely, when you're faced with death, you really do pray out like that, and it's like your spirit pours out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's like this. You wanna. It's like on the movies when the hitman comes and he's like, he puts the gun to your head and he's like, "All right, if you got any prayers, you might as well say them now." Even the wicked know that you give a man his moment to make his peace before you take him out, if you can. And when I was sitting there and I thought maybe I could die, it, I prayed out. You know what I'm saying? I try to clean it out, clean out my conscience, pour out my heart uh, as best as I could, and and then I started reading Psalms. Uh, so that I got to clean up a little bit, a little extra, and since the peace has been falling on me, but since the peace falls on me, I see the turmoil and the contention stir up in the people around me. Uh, it's like the demons go to the path of least resistance. Whoever's not resisting at the moment, that's where they go. And then you'll see fear, you'll see worry, panic, anger, doubt, and then you'll bold face see people say, "I don't care about God." Then they doubt God altogether. You know what I'm saying? And I see that that is a spiritual attack. And these people are kind of like, they're like, "All right, Satan, I'll be your instrument for the minute. Go for the moment. Go ahead and play me like a fiddle." And people give themselves over to that. I've done it before too. Times when uh when I was overloaded with bad things, negative things, it's your guard gets down. You get beat like over time, incrementally, frog in the pot, and before you know it, you know what I'm saying. You just wake up and it's like, what was I doing? You were get played. The devil's playing you like a fiddle. And these are one of the ways that the spirit realm holds us up in this dimension, holds them up in the heavenlies as well. We don't even see what's going on. It's just they got a bunch of their minions up there. It's kind of like, like you ever see someone join in arms and they walk in a line. It's like they set up like a defense like football, and the angels are trying to come bring the messages or do the work, and these guys got like a snare, a net to bust through. And I guess supposedly we can pray against these things and it helps assist the angels. That's how you do it. You got to break through. When people come against you, try to take away your peace. Try to actually infuriate you, inflame you of Satan, of anger, the tires set of fire of hell. And they try to inflame you. And there's times if your guard's down, you will become inflamed. And you will throw more gasoline on this fire. And you will rail your brother. And you will destroy each other. And you will tear each other down. And you will uh, do the will of Satan. You know what I'm saying? These false accusers come accuse you. So now all of a sudden you're accusing them of their true evils, but you're still becoming an accuser. You're not operating in forgiveness. You're not operating in love of the brother as thyself. You're not loving God with all your mind, heart, spirit, and strength. You know what I'm saying? So I see how these things trip us up. Another thing is, like, say you're watching a video and it's very interesting. You need to hear this information right now. And out of the blue, here comes someone wants to make small talk. People come crowd around you and they all start talking about, yeah, did you see that girl's hair? Man, her butt is so flat. Man, her tits sag. I mean, excuse my voice, but listen, that's the type of things the devil plants into people's minds around you. Say you're trying to block these things out. Well, they try to pry their way back in because they're like, it's like people recognize, they're like, wait a second. Why aren't you engaging with our distractions? What are you so into? You know what I'm saying? So since they can, it's like first they'll go roundabout and try to just manipulate the environment and the atmosphere by putting energies forth. You know what I'm saying? And then they see you don't bite, so then they up the amplitude and they gotta pull you out of it because it's like I think what it is it covers them. Because if they feel like they see you on task, they're looking at themselves like, wait a second, I'm not on task, man. He's on task, man. If he doesn't get off task, I'm going to look bad. You know what I'm saying? So they try to sabotage you. You know what I'm saying? I see that out here, and it just sucks that it has to be like that sometimes. But it's like these are some of the ways. Or here's another thing. Say, you're trying to sober up. You know what I'm saying? Say you've got a nice time under your belt, or you know what I'm saying. You're great getting a hold of, over your fleshly impulses. Then out of the blue, here comes someone you ain't seen in forever, and they got a bunch of they got a free treat on them of your favorite whatever it is. Just use your imagination here. They'll just come out of nowhere, bang. Or say you're trying to not think about women. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to purify your thoughts. Here will become something that you know what I'm saying that is to your liking, and she'll be showing you un understood affections. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like something in them that their attachment to the world, to Satan, the Lord of Merchandise. They sense hone in on something on you, and they put forth a resistance. With I don't know, some of them do it on purpose because they're actually wicked and they love to see the righteous fall. You know what I'm saying? For the same traps. You know what I'm saying? It sucks. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? You wear your heart on your sleeve, people are gonna try to snatch it off your sleeve by one way or the other. It's like I read there's always a weakness in someone. You know what I'm saying? You can look at, are they greedy? Are they lustful? Are they angry? Are they fearful? Are they too sympathetic? You know what I'm saying? Any one of those things can be exploited. Like say you're a Satanist, you can see a person sympathetic. You can pretend to be a bum, and then when the person's gonna come to your aid, and then as they get close to you, stab them. You know what I'm saying? For instance, that's how you'd use sympathy against someone. Uh, Lust. If you're lustful, well, whatever your taste is, we'll send that to you, and after you fulfill your lust, whatever, and you're all tired out and sleeping, we'll send our assassins to come stab you while you're down and out when you're in your comfort of uh with your pleasures. You know what I'm saying? If you're greedy, well, you be like this: take this bribe, and then once you take the bribe, the person will say, "Well, hey, if you don't fucking do what we tell you to, we're gonna expose to people that you take bribes and you're supposed to be someone of authority." You know what I'm saying? There's for instance, if someone gets easily angered, what you do is you passive aggressively provoke them until they blow up, and when they blow up, then you act like you're the victim, and then they look like they have an attitude. If you are, what's the other one? Fearful, what you do is you intimidate them into making you can control where they're going to go and where they're going to move by intimidation. That's if you're fearful. So these things are, this is how the devil operates, this is how man operates, because it works psychologically and strategically, but the devil kicks it up a notch because he can attack you from the unseen. And here's the thing: everyone potentially is under his strings. If they're not resisting the strings, it's like you can cut your strings, but look, he's sneaking around you trying to. He's already got you tied back up. You got to snip here. As you snip here, he's tying another one here. It's just what it is you just got to keep snipping those strings, and eventually the devil's gonna be like, "Man, I can't." Listen, I ain't got time to mess with you. I gotta go get the people who I can get. And that's when you start getting these resistances. That's when people start that's when your partners in crime call you up out of nowhere and, oh man, I got this great idea. That's when some woman, one of your ex girlfriends that you had a bad time with, calls you up and she wants to, uh, you know, uh, hang out or something. You know what I'm saying? Or uh, you know, whatever. Someone comes over with some to bestow some gifts upon you. Or someone wants, hey man, you gotta come help me in this feud I got, then, or some guy comes over, hey man, you wanna go for a ride? You jump in the car, and then you get down the road, and the dude pulls out a pistol, and he's like, yeah, this car's stolen. I just jacked this from an old lady. Now you're an accomplice to some kind of crime that you didn't want nothing to do with. I'm just saying, these are the ways these things happen. It's like whenever you try to separate yourself and distance yourself from that, it's like all of a sudden, woo, the floodgates of temptation open up. And I see, listen, I fell victim many times myself to the same cycle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to get aware of it now, and it's just like, I don't know. It's like you see who's like, so how people really aren't in control of themselves. There is something hijacking them and make them act a fool.